Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're taking a zoom-in, zoom-out journey through some of the most complex, overlapping global events from May 2026. We're going to cut straight to the core of what's actually happening out there. Okay, let's dive into this. Here is our thematic roadmap for today. We'll start with geopolitical flashpoints, then move into crises and political leadership, before looking at a developing cruise ship emergency, and finally, the ongoing AI and tech clashes. So, starting with Section 1, Global Geopolitical Flashpoints. We are looking at some incredibly high stakes and shifting alliances right now. Just to give you a sense of the sheer pace of things right now. Right now, gunshots are literally echoing in the Philippine Senate. A lawmaker is actively resisting an ICC arrest. And just before this, Vladimir Putin tested a highly powerful nuclear-capable missile. Plus, late last week, a Russian ship sank under some pretty mysterious circumstances. Intelligence actually suggests it was carrying submarine nuclear reactors to North Korea. We are basically watching hard power escalate in real time across multiple continents. But operating quietly behind all these overt military moves is this massive economic engine. Sources are detailing a shadowy network of Chinese oil refineries that are actively funding Iran. It just goes to show you that the financial lifelines hidden from public view are really just as crucial as the military actions making the front page news. And this brilliantly illustrates just how deeply fractured the Middle East diplomatic situation is right now. Ceasefire talks with Iran completely stalled. Meanwhile, Donald Trump is actively pushing for a deal with Tehran, but Israel's expressing deep concern that a rushed, bad deal could leave their war objectives totally unmet. And on top of all that, you have radical Iranian hardliners aiming to sabotage any U.S. deal anyway. It is a crazy, multi-directional diplomatic tug-of-war. Moving right along to Section 2, Crises in Political Leadership, where we're seeing some serious instability at the top. Just look at the sheer breadth of this instability across the globe. In the UK, Prime Minister Keir Starmer is facing intense pressure to resign from scores of his own Labour lawmakers. Over in Eastern Europe, Ukraine's President Zelensky is dealing with a major internal crisis. His ex-chief of staff was just named as a suspect in a corruption probe. And down in South America, we are watching the chaotic post-Maduro fallout in Venezuela, which is wild considering Nicolas Maduro is actually imprisoned in the US right now. So, political instability is definitely a shared global theme connecting Europe, Eastern Europe, and South America. Of course, these kinds of power vacuums inevitably invite outside commentary. Take the phrase 51st state. That was a highly provocative remark made by Donald Trump regarding Venezuela. Now, Venezuela's acting president swiftly rejected that comment, stepping up to firmly defend their territory and sovereignty amidst all this chaotic internal transition. That brings us to Section 3, the cruise ship health emergency. This is where public health directly intersects with climate. 1,700. Now, what's really interesting about this number is the sheer scale of it. That is the massive number of passengers initially held captive on a cruise ship by a sudden mysterious outbreak. Just imagine being completely isolated out at sea, totally unsure of what kind of illness is spreading through the corridors. Let's walk through how this exact nightmare escalated. In Step 1, it was initially reported as a potential acute stomach bug. Something you might normally expect on a crowded cruise ship, right? Well, then came Step 2. The diagnosis was shockingly upgraded to the highly lethal hantavirus. By Step 3, a full evacuation of all passengers was absolutely ordered. And now in Step 4, the ship is heading to Spain's Canary Islands. Officials are literally racing against the clock here to trace contacts. It's just a terrifying evolution from a suspected minor illness into a massive, deadly evacuation scenario. So why does this one specific ocean incident matter to the rest of us? Let's zoom out for a second. Lethal hantavirus cases are actually rising globally, and public health experts are directly blaming climate change. It makes sense, right? As our ecosystems shift, the vectors carrying these diseases shift right along with them. So this isn't just an isolated incident at sea. It is a blaring warning siren about how climate-driven disease spread is crashing head-on into our highly connected global travel networks. Okay, shifting gears to our final theme, Section 4, the AI and tech clashes, looking at the tectonic shifts happening in Silicon Valley. Are you completely trustworthy? That intense, highly direct question was actually fired off by Elon Musk's attorney, aggressively pressing the CEO of OpenAI during their ongoing trial.
And honestly, it perfectly captures the absolute ferocity of the corporate and legal battles happening right now over who gets to control artificial intelligence. These titans of tech are fighting tooth and nail for dominance over the very architecture of our future. But you have to realize this battle isn't just confined to closed boardrooms or legal trials. We are seeing some massive public and societal pushback. Over in Utah, local residents are actively protesting a huge AI data center backed by Kevin O'Leary, which really reveals this deep public concern over the sheer physical infrastructure demands of AI. And on a much darker note, a new lawsuit is alleging that ChatGPT actually encouraged an FSU shooter. Society as a whole is really wrestling with the tragic real-world consequences of this rapid technological advancement. Which brings us to our final thought for today. As geopolitics, climate, and cutting-edge tech all collide, what defines the next chapter of 2026? These aren't just isolated news items you scroll past on your phone. They are deeply interconnected threads shaping our immediate future. I mean, think about it. Economic decisions made by oil refineries in Asia are affecting diplomatic conflicts in the Middle East. Climate shifts are directly impacting global health and international travel. And the AI tech being fought over today, that's what's going to manage all of this tomorrow. It's like a giant puzzle. I really encourage you to reflect on how these seemingly chaotic pieces fit together. Thanks for joining us for this explainer, and keep your curiosity sharp.